Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Last Call BBS. For a change, I actually have like a deadline here. I gotta leave like I don't know. An hour would be nice. An hour 10, I could probably push it to, but any longer than that, and I would have to go. And I can't guarantee that I could solve any 20th century food court puzzles in that time. Most of them have been on like an hour and a bit, but as they're getting harder, I can't say for sure. So we're gonna have a crack at some Chipwizard Professional. Not that that's easy or anything, but we're less far along. Well, I don't know. The puzzles are all small anyway. And anyway, so I was like, if we start getting close to the deadline, I'll just go play Dungeons and Diagrams or something. So what am I supposed to do here? Inputs hold, outputs coil. When hold is activated, coil should be powered for 4 cycles and then oscillate. So, okay, so it should be on for 4 cycles and then oscillate specifically as quickly as possible, not just oscillate in general. Okay. Well, I mean, this is close to being right, right? Um, only now, obviously, there are going to be some complications here, but this is only wrong if someone holds this button down for longer than 4 cycles, and even then, it's still right half the time. So this is like kind of what we want to base things around, I guess. Um, and I guess what we want is basically this, but with some other circuit that can turn it off as necessary, right? Some other control that can. Yeah, I guess what we basically want is an oscillator with delay 4 triggered off of hold, right? And that feeds in here. And we've already done oscillators. Which is just like, let's see. So after it's been on for 4 cycles, it has 4 cycles of high, and then on the 5th cycle, it should go low. So all right, let's move this all up a bit so I have a bit more room to work with. And we want something with a delay of 4 from here. So kind of like that, but probably more like that actually. Because we need space for a via. Because this thing needs to interrupt itself, right? So I already forgot how to do oscillators. If I mean, I guess we... Let's reroute this again. Do it a bit lower. So some red silicon like this. Which has an interrupt to itself. I don't have space for that. I can't put both a capacitor and a via here. So maybe like that? So there's this 4-signal delay that goes high. And if it is high, if this, so we now need a via here to the blue silicon, right? So in fact, we could just take all this and drag it down a little. Now, does this look right? At first, hold is high, and this whole signal is low because there's power hasn't gotten through the capacitors yet. And so this blue is not blocking the transfer from hold to coil. Then, eventually, after 4 cycles have gone through, this metal bit goes high, and there's nothing to block it here. So it jumps across and powers this, stopping signal to coil. And just one more tick after that, it stops itself from stopping coil, right? In fact, I could do that. Which means if I scooted this whole thing over, I would save a bit more space still. But okay, let's first test if this is correct. No. During the oscillating period, coil is just always low. So let's try that again. So coil went low. And hold is still on. So this is the point where coil should go back on. This turned itself off, which made it turn itself back on? Question mark? It's like shorting itself somehow or something like that. Not shorting is the wrong word, I'm sure. Okay. Did I have a previous example with an oscillator? Because I'm sure I must have, right? How do I browse designs? Dual oscillator. So I had this. Where for a period 1 oscillator, for some reason I needed 2 capacitors? So this doesn't propagate back to itself instantly, maybe? I don't know. But okay, apparently you need an oscillator before you split to the self-recursive versus the output for some reason. Okay, fine. Solenoid driver. So that would mean... we'd need one in between these two? That doesn't seem right. Well, I guess that makes sense. Huh. Well, okay, good news. I wanted to move this left anyway, and now I have to make room for the interrupter to work properly. Now, I don't think this capacitor is actually placed the same as what I did before, right? This thing... well, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Because right now, the way I've done it, the split, if you like... between... So, okay. This finally went high after 4 ticks. Oh, I'm now permanently sending highs instead of lows, huh? Because it takes too long for this to charge up. And when this cycles itself, it ends up flipping that. Okay. Can someone who watched the video explain to me how well this works? Clearly I was the one who did it, but... oh. The point isn't that there's an oscillator like before and after the split, or a capacitor. The point is that you need 2 oscillators in between here, 2 capacitors between here and here, so the circuit has a chance to do something. This one could be here, and we would still generate a period 1 oscillator, right? It would just be in the wrong phase for what this puzzle asks for. Nope, it's just always high. Huh. I guess because this wire needs a chance to go low? Because right now the whole thing is high. And this should be stopping it from going high. But instead, this circuit, by blocking itself, the blue, by blocking the red, causes the blue to no longer be blocked, to no longer be on. Oh, I did not get an electrical engineering degree. I know this is not electrical engineering either, but It's really just like, you know, a logic puzzle slash engineering game with fairly simple rules that you're asked to do some complicated things with, and which sort of, I imagine, resembles transistors. So one immediately after the red that goes straight to output, and then the other direction after the first capacitor is through a second. Oops, through a second capacitor to the output. So if I turned this upside down, I would have the room to do that, wouldn't I? Or maybe move the whole thing up and to the left so I don't have to fight with this wire or this metal. Because from here, I have to go to a capacitor and then be able to branch off of that to go either here or here. And I don't think I can do that right now. But if I just lifted everything up a bit and to the left like that, would I not then be able to do this? I don't think flipping it upside down really accomplishes anything. So if we slot a capacitor in here, then we can route the metal back down this way and still fit another capacitor in here without actually using this column, which is kind of nice. Does this work? Yes, except we're in the wrong phase. Right, during the times that we're supposed to oscillate. And that's as expected, because we looked at that other one and it was trying to generate a thing at the other at the opposite phase, right? So something I thought I tried before. Can I just put like two capacitors like this? So that this one isn't delayed, but this is? There's still the same delay between here and here, but there's less delay between here and here? No, because now, mysteriously, this part stays high permanently once this gets powered up. Why? And if I just remove this capacitor, that's like the same incorrect solution I had earlier, right? Even though it seems right to me. Yeah. I really don't understand the deal with capacitors. If I put one there, like nothing good is going to happen, right? Yeah, we're out of phase. Well, wait a minute. If we're out of phase, can't we fix that by just changing the number of capacitors over in this area? Changing how long it takes this thing to turn on? So the issue is that we extend it for one turn longer than we should. So can't we fix that by just deleting that capacitor? Making this whole circuit start up a turn sooner? And therefore cut this off a turn sooner and step into the right phase? Yeah, there we go. Now, surely there's some better way to do this that doesn't use quite so much area. But the routing is challenging enough. I don't know. I'm leaving this one alone. Teach me about electronic locks, please. There's 5 code inputs. And we have to combine them all in the correct way. That seems like very straightforward abstractly. And I can't even imagine it's that hard routing-wise, right? We just have to run 1 by 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 using the right kinds of silicon intersections for them, right? Or run 5 by the others or something. Because 1 actually should be low, not high. 2 and 3 should be high, and 1 should interrupt that. I mean, okay, so these two both need to be high. So we'll run something like that. And if 1 is high, it should interrupt that. Which means it's a little cramped. All right, let's put all this a bit lower. Like that. So this has combined the inputs from 2 and 3. That this is powered only if both of them are powered. So we can easily have this to turn them off if it's appropriate. And now this is high only if all 3 of these are correct. Now, what are 4 and 5 supposed to do? Four should be low, 5 should be high. So I don't even need another bit of metal there, do I? Maybe it would let me save some, I don't know. The other thing is we can combine 4 and 5 independently if we want. And just have a signal that means these are both correct. which would mean, well, could we? Yeah, and have it be high only if 5 and not 4 was high. So we could run a signal. Yeah, I guess what we want is like this somehow to be where these three get the option to allow or prevent what these two come up with to go by. Problem, I don't have enough room here for them anymore, right? Okay, so let's not do it that way then. Let's just have 4 interrupt via here. I know we're not exactly being economical. That's okay. And 5. Well, so we should switch to this, right? And just throw in vias everywhere they'll let you? Yeah, that makes sense. So the point is just to have a signal. Yeah, I'm sure. A very common solution. Anytime we need to make sure we're kind of building up a combined signal that is high only if all the inputs we've looked at so far are correct. Not whether they're all high, but if they're all correct. And it sort of starts here with code 3, because code 3 is correct if it's high. So this bit of metal here is high if and only if code 3 is correct. Then we let code 2 interrupt it and say, if code 2 is low, i.e. incorrect, then we cut this off and the output here will be low. But if they're both correct, then this is still high, and we go through here and let code 1 interrupt it by turning it off if code 1 is high. Otherwise, if code 1 was correct, i.e. not high, then this will be on. And then from here to here is where we're letting 4 interrupt. Wait a minute. So that's very straightforward. But it just occurred to me, we don't need separate transistors for 1 and 4, right? We can just weld them together on the metal layer, and that wire will be high if either one of them is high. And then we can use that to interrupt everything else. So can I not just do that? So take like this. Oh my god. How did I end up doing so much? Oh, I broke these guys as well. Okay. Get rid of that then. And just run metal over there. Right? Does this not also work? No, it does not also work. Why? In what cases does it not work? Here's one example. Oh, interesting. Open is correct and close is correct. But by gluing these together, I broke what 1 and 4 are supposed to be. Sure. I guess from electricity's point of view, none of these are inputs. They're all just signals. And this transistor can force current through them, which they don't want. Is there a cute workaround around this? Like some way that I could still avoid this junk? I don't know. Just put it back the way it was. Which is this, right? And like I said, I'm sure there's something prettier. Obviously, there's something that's only 12 area somehow. Let's see if I can do another one of these today. Motor controller. If on or off, output motor. Okay. When on is activated. We're building a latch. Or. Oh, what's the simpler version of a latch? It's a flip-flop. Which one are we building? I don't remember. Oh, wait, no. The latch is the simple one. The flip-flop is the complicated one. I did take a class in computer engineering. Not electrical engineering, but it covers computer engineering stuff. Covers some of the basics of this. So I still don't really remember how latches and flip-flops, what's the difference exactly? Flip-flops are more synchronized in a way. You generally enable a write flag at the same time that you send a data flag that's either 1 or 0. And they don't call them flags. I don't remember what they're called. And that causes the flip-flop to remember its state indefinitely. Whereas with the latch, I don't really remember. Alright, let's go do Dungeons and Diagrams for now. I need to refresh my memory on how that stuff works, and I don't want to commit to doing it right now. Alright, what is this one called? Oh, I haven't even clicked on one yet. That's why there's no name. The Skittering Gallery. Are these scorpions or something with spears? Maybe? I don't know. No fake treasure chest today. At least that's something. Where's a promising place to start? This one column seems insanely hard to do. Because the only place you could put a single wall would be here, right? If you leave this open, then there are going to be 2 walls. So I don't think that's right. This is the wall. And that fills in a bunch of other stuff. Oh, also this 7 we could have done because, yes, there's one non-wall, but it's already filled in. It's this monster. There's only one non-wall in this whole area. Okay, how about this 6? We can surely do something here because, again, there's only one non-wall. And it can't be here because then it would be a dead end. So that's a wall. Here, I think it could be. But it certainly... No, because then this would be a dead end as well. So that's a wall. And it can't be that this is the only non-wall because it would be a dead end. Likewise this, right? Yes. This can't be the only non-wall in this row either. It's not immediately obvious why, because it's not a dead end exactly, right? Yes, it couldn't continue to the left, but it could go up, right? Well, no, because then there'd be this 2x2 area, so that has to be a wall. These two, I think, are pretty similar looking at the moment. Can't say what they should be. This can't be the only... This can't be the only open space, can it? No, because then this would be a wall and this would be a dead end. That means one of these two is the open space in the column, so this is a wall. Not a huge surprise or anything, but good to know. There's one more wall in this area, right? On the bottom? No, two more walls. Only one more open space. Well, this can't be the open space because it would be a dead end, so it's a wall. Now this can't be open, so it's a wall, and we found out some more very useful stuff. This can't be the last open space in this row. Ah, we did the column, this row already, so that's open, which makes that a wall. Very good. How about here? There's only one wall here, which means this guy must be open on top or bottom, so he can't be open here. Now there's only one wall in this row, and it can't be here, because there'd be a problem with this space. This has to be open, of course. This can't be a 2x2. This can't be open, because then this space would have a problem. This can't be a wall, so this must be. Only one more wall here, and it can't be this space. Can't be this space either, in fact. So this is finishing the column, and that can't be a dead end. There we go. Hey, new text. Life of a solo dev. The dev was a middle-aged guy named Ilka, who lived in this tiny village in the middle of nowhere. I told him we all liked his game and maybe he could find a publisher for it so he could actually earn some money. I didn't think about it again until a while later when I came across a new version of Dungeons & Diagrams on the boards with better art and sound. Also, it was cracked. I guess his new publisher put copy protection on it. I was glad to see Ilka had struck a deal, but unfortunately it turned out the folks he'd signed with weren't exactly above board. Weren't they? Just like in the sense that they wanted him to charge money, or what? Alright, that's row 3. We did it. The Thief's Dilemma. Interesting. Why should there be a dilemma here? You have to go through this thing to get both treasure chests? No, because there has to be a single connected path, and these guys are only at dead ends. I guess we'll find out. Important to note, this can't be part of any treasure room, which means this one has to go all the way over here. And this one could reach as far as this, but certainly it goes left, at least one space. There can't be any treasure rooms in this row, because then there wouldn't be a place to put 3 open spaces. So in fact, all the treasure rooms extend to the bottom row as well. And now we know the shape of this treasure room. It goes to here, or this is its wall. But there might be an exit to the wall somewhere around here. We don't know. Although, could there be? Well, there could be an exit here, but neither of these could be an exit. Because they wouldn't be able to go up, because these squares aren't exits, and they couldn't go left, because that would connect a treasure room to a treasure room, which is allowed, right? You can have an exit from a treasure room, go to another treasure room, but only if there was another fork, a branch you could have taken in between, which won't be the case here. So these two, in fact, can't be the exit. I mean, I think it's probably impossible that the treasure room extends into this column. It looks hard, right? Because you would have to put 3 walls here to close it off. Except that there could be an exit, I suppose, over here. Like, this could be an exit. You'd have to spend at least 2 walls. And then... I don't know, the exit could be here... I'm like thinking of this monster, it consumes at least 1 wall, but I guess I have 1 wall to spare. And maybe it's possible for the rest of the column to be empty? I don't know. So I think the treasure room goes all the way over here, but I'm not certain. What can we say about these 2s? Each of them has exactly 1 in its row remaining. And I think we can say that they both have to be on the same side, right? Like, is this possible? No, because what the heck is going on with this square? And likewise this. So these 2 have to be on the same side. Either both here, in which case the treasure room goes over here, or both here, in which case the treasure room reaches this space. It doesn't seem impossible for either of those to occur. What does it mean, one might ask, that there are 6 walls in this row? It means, of course, that there are only 2 open spaces. And exactly 2 open spaces. But I was hoping I could prove something about, like, that must mean there's a way out through this room, this wall, and then a way back down. But I think, in principle, the 2 treasure rooms could join up like this, go through here once. But how could they, though? Because then there would be a wall, or a dead end along this row, right? Like, if the 2 treasure rooms somehow joined up before crossing this barrier, like this, they could leave, but they couldn't, like, then wander around and come back. That would be impossible. And they couldn't either use up both open spaces in this 6, say by going right here. because that would make a 2 by 2. So I think, and we don't know about these, I think that each treasure room must have a separate path up through this 6-column row. Can I do anything with that? Is there any area that I could guarantee that path could go through, or that I could guarantee that it can't go through? I don't know. Okay, and this 7, I guess, is also saying something pretty interesting, right? It's saying that there's only one way through, like, this column looks like this roughly. You know, I don't know where the gap is, but there's just one gap, right? So where could that gap be? Well, not here, because then there would be no way to get from this treasure room to this one. So that's a wall. Great. Could it be here? Ooh, that's a cool question. I think the answer is no, right? Because if this were the only gap and we had this, what the heck is happening up here? You can't get there, right? So I think this can't be the gap in this 7 column, which means it's the only wall in this 1 column. 1 row. That's very exciting. Now, we're still not 100% clear on which of these are filled in, but it does support my earlier claim that either these are both walls or neither is. So that's nice. Now, likewise, I think this can't be the only gap in the 7 wall, because for reasons we already talked about, I mean, that would kind of end up looking like this, right? And then there's no way to get anywhere but the treasure rooms. So that's a wall. Oh! And of course, this... No. I was going to say this has to be the gap, because otherwise we would use up too many 1s. But no. If we put down a straight or an open here, we have to use up 3 opens. But if we put down a wall, we don't have to use up 3 walls. So I guess that's still possible. That it could go either way. Well, now that we know the exit to the treasure room is either here or here, it can't be either of those 2 squares. What now? Because the exit over here could be any one of these three, I think. I don't think we have much left to do with this 7 anymore. It looks likely that you can get through here. But that's not a proof. And even if this were true, and we boxed off all of this stuff, you know, you could still do some stuff in here and get to the treasure room plausibly. This is a hard game. The music always, also puts me to sleep. I'm crashing here. I don't have that much longer to go either. I mean, can we work out where the last wall in this column is? I don't think so. I mean, presumably eventually we can, but this is not the next step. It does not seem so anyway. I guess, okay, if we're going to do some bifurcation here, which I'm not thrilled about, but could this be open? That's a very impactful question, right? We could at least try it. And the answer is no. Okay, for reasons that I could have asked a simpler question. We could look at where's the wall in this row. Is it here? No, obviously not. There would be a million dead ends. And that means this guy is determined. That's where his open space is. Now we can ask, could this be a wall? I thought I was going to come to some conclusion there, but it doesn't look like I did. I thought I was going to say no, because this would be a dead end, and you could only get to the treasure, but I don't know, as far as I can tell, you could make this a wall and then go around, right? How about this 7? There's only one open space, and it can't be here. And in this 3 row, there's only one open space. There's only one wall, and it can't be this because there'd be a problem there. So that's open. This can't be the wall because this would be a problem. And now we get the column. Oh no, I screwed it up somehow. Don't do this to me. There's only one more wall in this column. It can't be here, so that's open. If this is open, well, I don't know, that doesn't tell me too much. There's one more wall here. There's one more wall in this row. It can't be here, so we get that. this can't be a wall, can it? I guess it could. No, because this becomes a problem. It's either going to form a dead end or make a 2x2. So in fact, these have to be the openings, and the 7 blocks this off. And we get this whole row. Well, okay. Ah, 2 more walls in this column. We already proved it's either both of these or neither of them. So this can't be a wall. And these have to be. We found the path out of the treasure room now. This can't be a wall. And so this has to be. This can't be a pass-through because then this would be a problem. Well, we could just say this can't be a wall. In fact, that's simpler. Okay. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So, why exactly is it the thief's dilemma? I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I gotta get going. So, what was that? Like 2 Dungeons Diagrams puzzles? Yes, 2. We'd already done this one. And a couple Chipwizard puzzles. I'm not too disappointed with that. Maybe more than that. Did I do the safety interlock today? No, that was yesterday. Or at any rate, previously. So we did, though, get these 2 Chipwizard puzzles. Nothing to sneeze at. Hope you guys enjoyed in the past. After watching the video you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.